I'm Gretta Stevens. I'm the Chief Executive of BlueScope, New Zealand and Pacific Islands. We use a unique process to make steel out of iron sands, and we take that steel and transform it all the way through to steel products, everything from flat plate to rebar to fencing wire to roofing iron. I'm really passionate around heavy industry. I've been working in it all my life, and I think it's quite overlooked in terms of just how fundamental it is to any country to have a wealth creating industries and the value they add to the employees, the communities in which they operate. And I think these industries are under threat in New Zealand and in Australia, and I'm just really passionate about keeping them alive. We need to be cash break even at the bottom of the price cycle for steel. Like all commodities, our steel price goes up and it goes down, and right at the bottom of that cycle, the last time around, New Zealand Steel wasn't making any money, and that's not a long-term proposition, so we need to keep working on our cost base to be cash break even. The second one, which is really core to our position in the New Zealand market, is giving our customers what they want and what they need. So in terms of quality, with quality requirements changing, thinking about things like ductility for seismic regulations, those types of things, and new products where we can develop new products that are better for the New Zealand market, things like our Drydex product, but also the service and the technical support that we're able to provide to our customers as a local manufacturer, which is really a distinguishing feature compared with imported steels. A very important one for us is what's happening in our regulatory environment around carbon and ETS scheme, and just how we transition our economy to a low CO2 economy, and how we adapt to that and meet that challenge is really important for us. Another one is, we are a small country and we are under a lot of pressure from imported steels, and making sure that we've got the opportunity to compete on a level playing field with imports. A number of the countries where steel is produced that's imported into New Zealand don't have the same requirements that we do, and that enables them to land their steel more cheaply. So constantly putting our case to make sure that we have free trade but fair trade, and so where steel is produced where there's no cost to CO2, where we do bear a cost to CO2, can make a difficult import environment. So that's a big challenge for us. Well, innovation is absolutely key. That's how we have changed our cost base over the last few years. Even though we've been making steel out at Glenbrook for 50 years, even in the last 2 years, the people down in the iron making end of the plant have completely changed the paradigm around the way we can run our process to improve yield. And that's the kind of stuff that keeps us in the game. BlueScope's really taken this on in a big way. We now have a role on the executive lead team that is dedicated to innovation specifically. We've partnered with an external company to develop almost like a standardised process or tool set for innovation. We're training innovation champions in our business. I think there's so much opportunity for businesses like ours because, it's a bit old-fashioned out there in some respects. In some areas we've got really, really modern process control, in others we don't. But with the cost of automation technologies just, coming down year on year on year, things like advanced sensors, high definition cameras, data processing, all of those things offer huge opportunity. I think firstly in process control, getting tighter control on our processes, which improves our quality and our throughput and yield. Safety is another huge opportunity with things like remote sensing that allows moving equipment to detect people in the workplace, can help us confront some of our biggest hazards. So they're probably some of the big ones. Doing some technical pilots with external parties to test how we can make use of data we already gather through PLCs and sensors, analysing that in different ways to provide more insight into our processes. So there's a lot of areas of sustainability. And I think going forward, social licence to operate is really going to be a very big determinant of which businesses succeed and which don't. And so sustainability goes over a whole lot of different pillars. There's, of course, everybody always thinks of environment and we need to make sure our environmental compliance and performance is not in any question. We're really, really confident we have best-in-class environmental performance. We've always met all of our licences, but we're always trying to get better. So we always have improvement targets for things like water use and waste to landfill and those types of things. But it's also about how we communicate how our business contributes to other forms of sustainability. So social sustainability of the communities in which we operate, the contribution of jobs, high-paying jobs in small communities, contribution to education through apprenticeships, through student placements, employment of graduates, all of those types of things. Business sustainability is my job. It's every chief executive's job, because that's why we're here. We're here to make sure our businesses last, durably for decades to come.